World War II, a conflict so vast and ferocious it scarred the very fabric of human history, was anything but an isolated event. It was a maelstrom of political ideologies, technological advancements, and human suffering, woven from the threads of ambition, desperation, and resilience. From the spark that ignited the inferno in 1939 to the smoldering ashes of a reshaped world in 1945, its story is a tapestry of heroism and horror, grand strategy and individual sacrifice, forever etched in the collective memory of humankind. A tangled skein of causes, the roots of World War II, much like its predecessor, lay not in a single event, but in a tangled web of interwoven narratives. The Treaty of Versailles, meant to end the Great War, instead planted the seeds of future unrest. Germany, burdened by crippling reparations and stripped of its military might, festered with resentment. This fertile ground nurtured the rise of extremist ideologies like Nazism, fueled by virulent nationalism and promises of restoring German greatness. Meanwhile, in Japan, imperial ambitions and resource scarcity spurred militaristic expansionism. Across the Pacific, the Manchurian invasion and subsequent atrocities foreshadowed a larger conflict brewing on the horizon. In Europe, Mussolini's fascist Italy, emboldened by internal strife and territorial aspirations, sought to carve out an empire in Africa and beyond. The delicate balance of power, meticulously constructed after World War I, began to teeter. Appeasement policies, initially aimed at preventing further conflict, instead emboldened the Axis powers. As their aggressions went unchecked, the world watched with mounting fear and anticipation. The inferno unleashed. The spark that ignited this tinderbox came in 1939. Nazi Germany's invasion of Poland on September 1 shattered the uneasy peace. Great Britain and France, bound by treaty, declared war on Germany 2 days later. The domino effect quickly followed, pulling nations into the conflict like ships dragged into a maelstrom. The war unfolded across multiple fronts, each with its own brutal realities. The European theater saw the rise of trench warfare 2.0, with mechanized combat adding a new layer of devastation. The Battle of Britain, the first major air campaign, transformed the skies into a battleground, while the Eastern Front became a grinding meat grinder, claiming millions of lives. Beyond Europe, the flames of war engulfed Asia and Africa. Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, drew the United States into the conflict, solidifying the two major alliances, the Allies and the Axis. Brutal island-hopping campaigns in the Pacific mirrored the relentless offensives in Europe, each victory marked by immense sacrifice. A crucible of technology and terror, World War II witnessed a staggering escalation in military technology. Tanks, airplanes, and submarines revolutionized warfare, blurring the lines between battlefield and civilian life. Radar and code-breaking advancements reshaped intelligence gathering, while the atomic bomb ushered in a terrifying new era of nuclear weaponry. This technological innovation, however, did not translate into swift victories. The war became a global stalemate, with casualties mounting on all sides. Cities were reduced to rubble by aerial bombardments, and entire populations were subjected to atrocities of unimaginable proportions. The Holocaust, the systematic extermination of Jews and other minority groups by Nazi Germany, stands as a grim testament to the depths of human barbarity. Beyond the battlefields, while the war raged on the front lines, its impact reverberated far beyond the battlefield. Women filled factories and farms, taking on vital roles traditionally reserved for men. Propaganda machines churned out narratives of heroism and demonization, shaping public opinion and fueling the war effort. Societies were mobilized under the banner of total war, with every resource and individual directed towards the fight. The war also exposed and exacerbated existing social inequalities. Racial tensions simmered, leading to internment camps for Japanese Americans and discrimination against minority groups across the globe. The horrors of the conflict fostered a wave of disillusionment and cynicism, challenging pre-war optimism and faith in progress. Turning tides and a reshaped world. the tide of the war began to shift in 1942. The failure of the German offensive at Stalingrad marked a turning point on the Eastern Front. In the Pacific, the Battle of Midway dealt a crippling blow to Japan's naval power. Allied offensives on all fronts gained momentum, fueled by industrial might and unwavering resolve. By 1944, the Axis powers were on the defensive. D-Day, the largest amphibious invasion in history, marked a pivotal turning point in the war. On June 6, Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy, France, facing fierce German resistance in a bloodbath that marked the beginning of the liberation of Western Europe. Meanwhile, Soviet forces advanced relentlessly on the Eastern Front, pushing back the Nazi war machine with each brutal encounter. In the Pacific, the tide turned with the island-hopping campaign, gradually squeezing Japan's grip on its conquered territories. The battles of Iwo Jima and Okinawa further decimated Japanese forces, and the American decision to drop atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945 ultimately forced Japan's surrender, bringing the war to a devastating end on September 2. A shattered world and enduring legacies, World War II left an indelible mark on the 20th century and beyond. The physical toll was staggering. Millions lay dead, cities were in ruins, and entire economies were shattered. The psychological scars were even deeper, with survivors haunted by the horrors they witnessed and experienced. The political landscape was irrevocably reshaped. The United States and the Soviet Union emerged as superpowers, setting the stage for the Cold War and decades of ideological struggle. The United Nations was formed with the ambitious goal of preventing future conflicts, while the Nuremberg trials sought to hold those responsible for war crimes accountable. Beyond the immediate impacts, World War II redefined international relations, prompting the creation of global organizations like NATO and the International Monetary Fund. It sparked advancements in medicine, technology, and communication, leaving a lasting legacy in fields like aerospace and nuclear physics. However, the war also sowed the seeds of future conflicts. The unresolved tensions between the superpowers, the emergence of new nationalisms, and the proliferation of nuclear weapons created a volatile world ripe for instability. The echoes of World War II continue to resonate in conflicts across the globe, reminding us of the fragility of peace and the importance of vigilance in the face of tyranny and aggression. Lessons learned and a call to action. The legacy of World War II is not solely one of devastation and despair. It is also a story of resilience, courage, and unwavering determination in the face of adversity. The sacrifices of millions who fought for freedom and the countless acts of heroism against unimaginable odds offer a timeless lesson in the fight for a better future. World War II compels us to confront the darkest aspects of humanity, urging us to learn from past mistakes and strive for a future where dialogue and diplomacy prevail over violence and hatred. It reminds us of the importance of upholding human rights, defending democracy, and promoting international cooperation to prevent the horrors of the past from repeating themselves. By understanding the causes, consequences, and enduring legacies of World War II, we can foster a more peaceful and just world, honoring the sacrifices of those who came before us and ensuring that their memory serves as a beacon of hope in the face of any future darkness.